What's up, boys? This is Dylan with the Prepared Father here. Today we're going to be diving into the bread and butter of what I really want this channel to focus on, and that's everyday carry, or EDC, whatever you want to call it. Specifically, we're going to be talking about my 2025 EDC setup. Now, before we jump into gear, let's identify what exactly qualifies as everyday carry, alright? So, EDC just isn't about what you carry. It's about what you carry every single day. It's gear that's functional, reliable, and, it kind of fits your use case. Your environment, whatever it is. And for me, EDC isn't just about showing off, although I do love me some hot EDC gear. It's about preparedness. Preparedness for you, preparedness for your family, and preparedness for every innocent life around you, okay? Whether it's engaging in a gunfight to save someone, or putting on a tourniquet to save someone in a car accident, or even if it's, shining a light for an old lady looking for her keys or something, you know what I mean? So everything I carry has a purpose, whether it's obvious, like a wallet or keys, or more situational, like my firearm or my flashlight. Alright, so let's jump into the gear. So this is the fun part, alright? This is my current EDC lineup. Now remember, what works for me definitely might not work for you, alright? The key here is to define a use case for everything you carry. Some stuff is like brain dead obvious, like a phone or wallet and keys. But even with the basics, you gotta understand there's definitely levels to this game, alright? So first things first is carry a wallet. This here is the Magpul Dhaka. It's just like made out of some rubberized materials. It's super tight. There's been no stretching or tearing. It has incredible functionality. There is some slight, whatever it is, like I don't know what it would be called, stringing, some wear on the sides, okay? It is made out of a high-grade rubber. It keeps everything super tight and organized, and it's low profile enough to disappear in your pocket, not having the George Costanza wallet vibes, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. Alright. Secondly, what I'm going to do too is show you. So this is my work phone. I have another phone, and that is currently what I'm recording on. But this one is for work. And I like to keep things separate just because, I'm that guy. My work phone is an iPhone. So, if I hear an iPhone ring, I immediately know this is my phone, alright? And then if I hear an Android ring or something, I'm like, okay, that's a personal call. I like to keep things separate just because the memes and stuff that I view on this phone and the content that I create on this phone isn't as work friendly, alright? So it's about compartmentalizing my life. Part work, part, fun, alright? And next is this retractable 500 lumen magnetic flashlight. Now this flashlight has been a game changer for me. I was gonna get a PLR from Surefire or one of those like flat ones from Olight, but this has a pretty good use case for me. It's 500 lumens, which isn't a whole bunch, kind of low candela, but I'm not looking for some incredibly bright light to blind a target. That's what my Surefire is for. It has a magnetic base, which is clutch when you're in a car or needs hands-free lighting. Plus, the retractable feature is amazing for getting into tight spaces. Like when I drop my keys into a car, whether that's like my squad car or like a regular civilian car, it's easier to pull this down, shove this in middle of the seats, and pull it up. Alright, so ask me how I know, because I've done it a lot. I've dropped a whole bunch of shit between my seats. Alright, so next is this fixed blade SOG knife. It is a 2-inch knife. This is massacred a ton of Amazon boxes and USPS and UPS boxes. So the blade's like 2 inches long, which, some might even say is too big. Am I right, ladies? Alright. No, anyway, so I carry this on my belt or around my neck. Now, I think the neck carry option is pretty underrated. because it's fast, it's super discreet, and it's perfect for quick access in certain scenarios. I really do like the idea of taking some of the gear off my belt and or midsection, just because like over time that's going to cause a bit of pain in my hips and back. All right, but we'll get into the use case for this setup in the second part. I really want to talk about how EDC can conform to your life and having different carry options for whatever scenario you face. And finally, let's get into the meds, which is a tourniquet. I carry this usually in like an ankle holster, or I'll carry it in my pocket or a bag, but I always have a tourniquet on me, you know what I mean? And then I have my less lethal, which is just like your basic Saber brand pepper spray. All right, the guys at Active Self-Protection really said something that kind of rang true to me, is you want something between a harsh word and a bullet to end whatever argument, and this helps kind of maintain that distance that we're looking for. All right, and just very briefly, this is a watch that I carry on some days. I like mid-grade watches. I'm not a huge Rolex fan. I don't have enough money to blow $2,000 on a Rolex, but I do have enough for a good, few watches, a Tissot, a Fossil, Bulova, some of the ones that are kind of known for being like mid-range, not like a garbage Timex or something like that. Nothing against Timex, it's just I've seen those, fail often and quickly. All right, and now let's get into our firearm. So this is the crown jewel of my EDC right now. This is the FN 509 with a Surefire X300. I want to talk a little bit about the journey of my EDC, but first let's show clear. That is a orange follower, verifying that is an empty magazine, and that is a red snap cap, verifying that the only thing in the chamber is the snap cap. All right, and pull the trigger just so we know, and we're good. Okay. And YouTube, we are in a safe environment, no children, no unsuspecting bystanders, and no elderly, you know what I mean? So, the journey I've kind of gone on over the last year or so, I was experimenting with a few different setups, especially towards, the beginning of the year. I started with a Glock 17 before I started kind of jumping into the YouTube game. Which was great. The 17 was incredibly reliable, but it was missing a lot of the features that I was hoping to look for. It wasn't MOS, had those outdated finger grooves, which I despised. And the stippling was, lackluster, a lot to be desired, whatever you want to call it. But it ran like a champ. I don't think I had a couple ammo related issues with the Glock 17, but again, those were ammo related issues. But I wanted something more. I wanted something that was carried a less bit often, wasn't like the standard for everyone. So I switched to the M&P. The Shield, the first gen, had great concealability but low capacity. And that, like, not just regular low capacity, like 12 rounds, this was like 9 or 10 rounds, even with a Mag Guts kit. So not really ideal when you're working high-risk jobs. So eventually I landed on my CZ P10S. The CZ is a absolute amazing option. Like, I have no qualms about this, except the grip, it is kind of a pain in the ass to get a full 3 fingers on. I don't have like the largest hands in the world, but large enough to where, it's not my ideal for a fighting handgun. It's got a Vortex Defender on it, got TLR 7X. I carry it with the spare mag. Sometimes it's the 15, sometimes with the shield armor base plate, and other times it's just another 12 round. So this thing has been incredibly reliable. I have never had a malfunction with this. No light primer strikes, no failures to feed, no failures to eject. So I'm pretty proud of not only the gun, the optic, and everything about it. I love the holster too, and that's why we're going to talk about this, which is the same brand. These are both C&G holsters. This one is the quick ship. Both of them are quick ship options. They both ship within like 5 days. This one has the Tactical sidecar kit, so I could turn like any holster that has the discrete carry clips into a modular holster. And now this one is wrapped with 500D Cordura. Why? Because one, it helps the wear and tear on the firearm or the holster, and helps the wear and tear on like my midsection, whether that be my stomach, my, you know, testicles, you know what I mean? Because sometimes this is a large holster, and if I just sit at the wrong position, this is gonna rub up against my junk, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But you know, this kind of really does make it feel like it's a more cohesive part of my body. And two, it looks downright sexy, man. I don't care what anyone says. Like, you put multicam on anything and it's gonna look hot. So let's be real. Anything like with multicam, I get extra cool points. So, you know, rank me up. All right, boys. And, you know, carrying a larger weapon system like the FN means you have to dress around your gear, okay? For me, it's jerseys, it's flannels, it's plaid button-ups and oversized shirts. Not only does it eliminate the printing, but I'm comfy as hell while doing it. 90% of the time, no one even knows I'm carrying, and that is the goal. You know, so I have no problem carrying a larger handgun. Dressing around a firearm isn't that big of a deal. It really does increase comfortability too, because I never have to worry about, you know, my shirt being too tight. So that's part one of this EDC breakdown. The next video, we're gonna do some stuff that isn't as firearm related. I think I'm gonna do even another video that goes beyond my tourniquet and my medical supplies, maybe my go bag, my speedball, and other stuff that is more vehicle centric that I really wanted to cover in this video, but then it would end up being like 45 minutes. So in the next segment, we'll talk about how I adapt this gear for different settings, like running errands with my family or attending church, as well as how to carry comfortably and make sure you're getting the most out of your gear, whether that's comfort-wise, accessibility-wise, or adaptability. And remember, the best EDC setup is the one that works for you. All right, let me know in the comments what's in your EDC lineup. And if you've tried the FN, if you've tried the SOG blade, if you've tried the double phone route or the CZ P10S, tell me what's in your what's in your EDC and what exactly you know, you've tried in mine.